Hey, here is a quick one. The entry of Musalia Mudavadi in the presidential race, it actually changes the whole game plan. Over the weekend, he had an event in Meru. It was a church event in Meru. And later on, he had an outdoor event, which actually had a very good crowd. A confirmation that the former Deputy Prime Minister has actually moved events away from his Musalia Mudavadi Center and also from his home county or a home region of Western to the rest of the country, which is also good because it spurs up the rest of the camps also to start campaigns. The entry of Musalia. So officially now what we are saying is that we have three strong candidates. We have former Prime Minister Raila Odinga, Deputy President William Ruto, and former Vice President, and also is a former Deputy Prime Minister Musalia Mudavadi. So these three are strong candidates, and it's for obvious reasons. They have a voting bloc, they have a regional base, they also have funds to mount a presidential campaign. Kalonzo Musyoka can be a presidential candidate, but to be honest, he is a permanent running mate or a coalition bid or something like that, or will be a kingmaker at some point. So let's consider the entry of Musalia seals the top three candidates. So the entry of Musalia now complicates matters for Deputy President William Ruto, for simple reason that for the so many years back now, for the past like 10 years, for the past say 7 years, Mount Kenya have been systematically been told that the race is between William Ruto and Raila Odinga. So that's what they know. So their choices have been always be between Raila Odinga and William Ruto. And to those who support William Ruto, they thought that William Ruto is lesser or is more attractive to the region than Raila Odinga. And that has been working, at least theoretically. But practically, we know that for obvious reasons, Central Kenya may not necessarily embrace William Ruto as such. So the entry of Musalia Mudavadi, a sober candidate, not with so many baggage, doesn't have any past issues as such, will obviously put Mount Kenya region at a better position to support somebody who is not one of their own. So the fact that Musalia is also a system candidate also propels or attracts him to the Mount Kenya region. So it's obvious that Mount Kenya region may embrace Musalia Mudavadi, somebody who represents their best interest than either Raila or Ruto. So what does that mean? This actually complicates matters for Deputy President William Ruto, because Ruto at the moment is counting on numbers of Rift Valley and Mount Kenya region. So if Musalia, who controls say around 30 to 40% of Western Kenya, gets 70% of Central Kenya, that complicates matters for William Ruto. It obviously means that if in the end we have Musalia Mudavadi in the ballot, Raila Odinga in the ballot, and William Ruto in the ballot, Musalia may emerge number 2, 40% of Western votes plus 70% of Central of Mount Kenya region is far much more votes than Rift Valley and a few pockets here and there. So if Raila Odinga maintains his coalition, 60% Western, 100% Nyanza, let's say 40% of Nairobi and 50% the rest of the country, he'll beat the other two candidates. Meaning we'll have a runoff between probably Prime Minister Raila Odinga and his younger brother Musalia Mudavadi. We know what that means, because if we have a runoff, and in the event that Mount Kenya region would have betrayed William Ruto, it means in the runoff, the Mount Kenya voters, the Rift Valley voters, who will be now the kingmaker, will obviously be mad at their Central Kenya counterparts for not voting for William Ruto. Meaning, depending on what other conversation that will take place, it means that they'll be so comfortable voting in for Raila Odinga. So to that extent, Moses Kuria is right. William Ruto will work with Raila Odinga, because in the event of a runoff, if Mount Kenya betrays William Ruto, Rift Valley voters, the Kalenjins, will rally behind Raila Odinga in a protest vote against the Mount Kenya region. So, and that's how it will end. So my crystal ball tells me that we'll have probably The president will either be Raila Odinga or Musalia Mudavadi. And the leader of official opposition will be Musalia Mudavadi if he misses the presidency, and William Ruto may end up being prime minister. So these are some of the things we have to deal with. You never know. You never know how things work, because they say being prime minister, you have to resign, you have to run for president, you have to run for member of parliament. But I can tell you that he can resign, get re-elected within 3 months, and go back to parliament, and they'll be on time to be elected, depending on what the conversations will be. So ignore the general rules. We always have exceptions, and we have the practice. So interesting times. Oh, and by the way, Mukisa Kitui is doing very well on social media. He's doing very well on Twitter, courtesy of David McCarley, our guy always who is supporting losers at the end of the day. Is doing very well on Twitter, on social media. Amazing job, former UNTAC Secretary General. But what I can tell you, my crystal ball tells me that the best Mukisa will do is to become the governor for Nairobi. Nairobi governor is a very serious position, and will be used as a bargaining chip for the top leadership of this country. So Mukisa will be the next governor for Nairobi County. He's not going to be president. At best, he'll be a governor of Nairobi, and at worst, he'll be just a minister in the government of Honorable Musalia Mudavadi or His Excellency Prime Minister Raila Odinga.